Hello and welcome to Hempfield Happenings. I'm Katie Kreback, and in this November edition, we will be covering exciting topics like fall flavors, new renovations to this very studio, and students writing to pen pals all the way in Hawaii. So sit back and relax. The next episode of Hempfield Happenings starts now. First, students at Hempfield now have the opportunity to make their own clubs. Alyssa Abo checked out the process to create them.
A new addition to the Win 5 clubs this school year at Hempfield High School is that students have the opportunity to create and lead their own Win 5 club that brings people with the same interests together. The idea started during a meeting that developed a solution for students who were being randomly placed in clubs prior to this school year.
We as administration, led by Dr. Brossman, meet with faculty. We also meet with students in what we call our listening sessions. And teachers said that they didn't really like the setup of clubs just because they had students placed in there that didn't want to be in them. There just wasn't the opportunities for kids that we have now.
Once a student had a club they wanted to run, their first step is to complete a given form.
There are some changes that we'll make for next year, but after they filled out the form, they had to secure an advisor and go and speak to a teacher that may have shared that interest or someone that they had a previous connection to.
One of the new unique clubs that was on top rank for student choice is a mobile game club on styling under pressure and earning stars at the runway.
Dress to Impress is like a fashion game on Roblox, and it gives you different themes and you have to dress according to that theme. And you have like 5 minutes to do it, I think. So we decided to make this club because Dress to Impress got really popular over the summer with everyone, but most specifically girls. And yeah, a lot of people started playing it, and so we thought it'd be a good idea to make a club.
The club got a lot more attention than I ever could have anticipated. The club actually was full the first day that we put the sign-up sheets up, and there was a waiting list. So this is definitely something the students wanted to do, and I think the more intention or even putting it out there and letting other students know, there's a lot more people who want to do these things. Even if you have a club of your own that you're thinking about starting or doing, even for next year, do it, right? There's so many students here, and there's going to be other students who are just as interested.
I think the opportunity of students to make their own clubs is a big leadership role for the students now because they're getting to experience stuff and like us play games that we all have a like interest in and find new people.
From an administrative standpoint, we want to make sure that students are all in. We want to make sure that students are going to be able to grow as leaders, create things that they want to create.
Having a closer student involvement in the Win 5 clubs is a change that can impact greater participation, responsibility, and creative control for the students. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Alyssa Abo.
New businesses are great additions to the community. Ace Brown explored a new coffee shop, Trolly Line, located near Hempfield High School.
Opening a new business is always a challenge, and Trolly Line is no exception. From finding the right location to building a customer base, the owners have worked hard to bring their vision to life.
Trolly Line Coffee was originally meant to be a roasting facility, but after hearing the community's desire for a cafe, the owners shifted their vision, creating the coffee shop that now serves the neighborhood.
When we first bought the building, our initial thought was that we would move our commercial coffee roasting operation into this building. And then just with whatever space was left, we would put kind of a small retail front on top of that. And as we were doing the renovation and word got out that we were a coffee roasting company, just kind of time and time again, somebody would wander by and say, we can't wait for a coffee shop. We can't wait for there to be a coffee shop here. And so we really gauged the fact that there was a real hunger to have a coffee shop or a cafe here. So we kind of flipped the script a little bit and decided to kind of go all in on the coffee shop.
Flipping the script and deciding on a new plan is exciting, but it brings new challenges.
Well, since we've never operated a small business before, it was the huge list of not knowing what we didn't know. So we were really figuring this out as we went. We'd never developed a property before, never renovated a property before, and certainly never run a small, coffee shop or any kind of food service business. So we're new to everything that we did, and so that was probably our biggest challenge, was just figuring out how to do what we're doing.
Trolly Line Coffee pushed through with a vision of creating more than just a coffee shop. They wanted a space for community and connection.
So our vision for the shop is really to create a special place for the community where people can kind of come and connect with each other. And that was the main reason that we did this, was to create, really kind of a meeting place for people within the Landisville and the Hempfield community.
Well, I think it's a great hub for people, whether it be neighbors or friends, or we see family members like sisters, coming together here, or friends, teammates, and I think it's just a really great gathering place, to sit on our porch or table inside and just connect. I think that's really what it's all about.
For owner Jeff, success means much more than simply generating profit.
I think our primary measure of success is as long as we're paying our staff and as long as we're paying our rent. When we look out, if we've built a special place where tables are full and people are talking and connecting, and not on phones and things, and that's success to us, and that's really what our vision is.
Trolly Line has become a beloved coffee shop in the community, overcoming challenges and fostering connections along the way, with a commitment to create a welcoming space where friendships are built and memories are made. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Ace Brown.
Fall has many different traits that people enjoy. Fun flavors like pumpkin spice are a lot of people's favorite. Chris Decker explored how businesses prepare for the season.
The fall season is in full swing, and local businesses are getting ready for the pumpkin spice craze the season brings.
The trend of pumpkin spice, along with other miscellaneous flavors, has been increasingly popular ever since 1950, when McCormick introduced the blend of seasonings that would be known as pumpkin spice.
Breaking out the sweaters and putting away the shorts and the short sleeve shirts, and certainly pumpkin spice everything.
In East Petersburg, we spoke with Linda Rannells of Geneva Bakery to get some insight on what autumn is like for a local business like her.
Like, in particular to me, for pumpkin, people say they love pumpkin. What they really love is spice, because pumpkin itself is kind of bland. If you just eat plain pumpkin, it's kind of boring, but it's the mixture of spices that people really like. People love their fall goodies, and it's getting cold and you want to kind of drink those hot drinks, and a hot coffee or a hot cider goes really well with some pie.
While pumpkin spice is by far the most popular flavor, it is far from the only one fall has to itself.
Pumpkin spice thing, I'm kind of off that bandwagon, but I do like cinnamon and just like maybe some spicier, like cider is really yummy at this time of the year.
I actually really like cardamom because I don't think it's as common. I do that with pears a lot. Pears and cardamom go really well together. In the summer months, people are going on vacations and they're doing a lot more outdoor things. So once it starts getting cold, people want to come inside, and it's a great place here to meet indoors, and it's warm, and there's warm drinks and there's pastries, and so fall definitely is a popular time of year for this business.
As Hempfield and Lancaster County in general is an agricultural-based community, fall flavors are more in demand than ever. From Hempfield Happenings, I'm Chris Decker.
I'm here with Mr. Saracini, who is the Hempfield Marching Knights Band Director. So Mr. C, could you give an introduction on yourself?
I'm Mr. Saracini. I've been the band director here at Hempfield going into my 7th year. This is my 20th year of teaching, and that means it's my 20th year of teaching marching band, which is a cool thing.
So can you give me an overview of what it's like to be in marching band?
So marching band in Hempfield is a long and storied tradition. The band's been around for over 50 years and has been one of kind of the front runners of what performance on a football field can be throughout its history. This year we have 107 members in the group and are one of the largest bands in our organization. And we play football games, we do parades, we do community events, and then one of our big things is we go to competitions and see how we can best ourselves in the competitive environment.
So for your field show this year, what is the theme?
The theme of the field show this year is unique compared to things we've done in the past. Usually there's a story, or you have a bunch of music that's a theme and you tie it together. This year we decided to tie the show together with a visual theme, and it's called On Top of Spaghetti. And there's a giant plate of spaghetti, we have noodles, we've got meatballs, and a real restaurant scene. And the whole show is just playing with the idea of how we can manipulate that and create some fun out of the visual of spaghetti on the field. We do all this Italian opera music that is very recognizable, and you wouldn't know the names of the songs, but you'd recognize the music.
So with the competitions, there's pretty big ones like Cavalcade Championships or Bands of America. How are they different?
So our local organization is called Cavalcade of Bands. It's kind of like PIAA for sports. And so we'll go to local shows, we host a show here, and we'll compete against other bands in our area. And that culminates at the beginning of November with Cavalcade Championships, which is kind of like our big thing every year. And then the other thing we've done historically at Hempfield is we'll actually go to a national show, and BOA stands for Bands of America. And those are some of the best bands on the East Coast, and they all get together for a competition.
So for these competitions, how do students prepare mentally, physically, or musically?
Sure, so we start preparing actually in May. We have our beginning of the season meeting. We reveal what the show is, and then we spend the summer figuring out who's going to be in the group. We actually write the visual and the music for the show to the specific members of the group, so we don't have any bench players. Everybody's a starter, and everybody has a role that's really important to the show. And then throughout the summer, we spend a lot of time learning, and then during the school year practicing. During the year we practice between 10 and 16 hours a week, and the students refine their skills, learn how to put it into the field show, and then every week we add a little bit to the show until we are right now in the beginning of October. We actually have a complete show that we'll take and try to refine and make as wonderful as possible as we perform.
Okay, so I know you have team focus points every year, so I think this year's is courage and trust. So how are those specifically important for the marching band?
Yeah, so every year we pick like some things that aren't musical or visual performance that we want the students to focus on, both just as a development of teenagers becoming adults, but then also something to kind of galvanize the group around. So this year our themes are courage and trust. And it's something that we talk about every week in our rehearsals. We have some thought exercises, we'll do role playing, all kinds of different things to try to get the group to experience those things together. And when you're performing or in any type of team environment, having the courage to fail, the courage to try hard is really important. And then it's extremely important that we trust each other and we know that people are going to have our back, people are going to perform and work as hard as they can. And so those are things that kind of help us achieve some of the things that aren't just performance related, but part of being a teammate.
Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
We're just making you. It's still on the level.
It's been an exciting year for the Hempfield boys soccer team since they won their first LA League championship in 14 years through all their hard work and dedication. The victory did not come easy. It was a result of months of hard work, dedication, and shared passion for the game.
They were extremely committed in the off-season. The amount of time and effort that they put into preparation for this year was really next to none in terms of the last several years for sure.
Building on the dedication and hard work they showed during the off-season, the team's resilience was clear throughout the season. Their commitment and determination became defining traits, pushing them to fight until the very end.
So the guys were highly motivated, extreme effort, just they really never gave up. We love that mentality of just never give up, battle to the end. 2 years ago we were in the district final and ended up losing that match in the final 9 seconds of the game. And so a lot of these guys were a part of that team and they learned just the importance of seeing it out to the very end. And so I think that experience maybe carried over a little bit into this season where We were in the last 2 games that we played in playoffs, the semifinal and the final, were both won in overtime. So the guys had that understanding of just how to compete right till the final minute, final seconds actually.
The never give up mentality is important, but it was also about the smart preparation too.
It's just a lot of smart technical training, getting us prepared for whoever we're playing. A lot of recovery, making sure we're also ready physically to play and we're not exhausted, and mental preparation, simple stuff, keeping it simple and getting us ready for the game.
Often we'll play 2 or 3 games a week, and so if it's a week where we play 2 games, we would have training on Monday and then a game on Tuesday. Then Wednesday ends up being kind of a recovery day and also a preparation day for the following match, which would be on Thursday, and then Friday would be a training day again. The following week usually would end up being a 3-game match week, where we would play on Monday, train on Tuesday, which is a lot of recovery work on those days, and then play again on Wednesday, and then have a recovery and training day on Thursday, and then play again on Friday.
Balancing training and recovery was crucial during busy weeks, but it wasn't all about the hard work. The team also knew the importance of building connections off the field, finding times for team meals, bonfires, and even miniature golf.
Yeah, we feel like that's an important part of it, is just for the guys to have connections outside of the field and off the pitch. We'll go out for a meal together. Sometimes we'll go do a team breakfast. Sometimes we've had bonfires. We've done some service projects as a group. They've gone out for ice cream. We've played soccer, tennis, miniature golf, fun things that they can do as a group outside of the soccer field.
In the end, their success was a mix of hard work, smart preparation, and strong team bonds. Together, they proved what's possible when everyone is all in. From Hempfield Happenings, I'm Connor Wettig.
The Hempfield boys soccer team participated in the district quarterfinals on October 26th at Hempfield High School. Although they did lose, they all did a great job this season and should be very proud of the hard work they put in. Next, we have Noah Valley looking into how student recognition is beneficial at Landisville Intermediate Center.
Here at Landisville Intermediate Center, or LIC for short, teachers and administration are using positive reinforcement tactics to help keep their students engaged in the school atmosphere. However, these actions do not come without their consequences.
Now, LIC is trying a new form of positive reinforcement, which entails rewarding students for their positive behaviors each and every month.
I actually got the idea from Dr. Swatner, the principal at Roarstown Elementary, to start incorporating monthly mini-meetings. And through the monthly mini-meetings, we are highlighting some of the character traits that we want to see in our culture. So we reward specific students for demonstrating things like respect or kindness or empathy.
Beginning of the month, we had a conversation about what does it look like to be respectful? What does a respectful student do? How do they act towards others? How do they act towards the teacher? How do they manage themselves within a classroom? So once we've established those norms, then throughout the month we're looking for the student that represents that.
These new changes, LIC is still keeping parts of their positive reinforcement plan, which included rewarding students on a daily basis for both character and academic achievement.
We also do our team ticket rewards at a time where we have fun things like playing hoops with me or doing a craft time with Mrs. Casabo. We use our team ticket system, which we kept from the old system because we thought it was working really well to reinforce expectations that we're teaching.
As soon as they see that I have those green tickets in my hand, or as soon as I start handing them out, everybody else will immediately fall in line. Because that tangible reward, even as adults, we like to get things. We want to get money or we want to get a token to be recognized for doing something positive.
And according to this study by the Brigham Young University, there is 35% more student participation when rewards are used in the classroom. And these meetings also give teachers a chance to teach their students about these character traits in hopes to improve their character.
Respect and that kind of stuff has definitely improved since the beginning of the year. I think, it's always, once something's explicitly taught like that, it becomes a non-negotiable.
When we first started it, we were a little bit concerned that kids would be upset that they didn't win it. And what was really cool is when their friends were winning it, they were applauding and cheering and really enjoying it.
While these positive reinforcement tactics are beneficial to students' performance, there have been concerns brought up regarding the effect of all these extrinsic rewards on students' intrinsic motivations.
And eventually I do think that becomes more of a memorized behavior. And as the year goes on, we hand out less and less and less of the tickets. So kind of removing some of the reward, keeping it in place as needed, but taking away the ubiquity of it. It's not constant anymore.
So the goal was to get everybody to be intrinsically motivated. However, sometimes it takes that extrinsic motivation to get them to that intrinsic motivation. And in fact, most kids, especially kids that we've had for a few years, don't always win as many of these types of awards in 6th grade. They've kind of bought into the system that if I know I give great effort, I have that growth mindset, that I end up doing really well.
All of this positive reinforcement is great for the students of LIC. And while there are concerns that it may hurt the students' self-motivation temporarily, the administration's goal is to help the students permanently. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Noah Valley.
To create all the features you see inside this very video takes behind-the-scene effort. With new renovations on the lab, Bryce Jordan took a deeper look into how this affects communication technology programs at Hempfield.
Since last spring, the workspace for the communications technology courses have gone through a series of improvements. This has been done in large part due to the hard work of a few individuals.
Two parts to what we did kind of this summer. One was the edit lab, which was moving it from a small little confined space out to the larger room. Two reasons for that. One was we got more editing stations for the classes to be using. Two was it helped us be able to manage our network a lot better. We used to have a TriCaster, which is our switcher, which is kind of all computer based. It was about 11 years old, and if you know, as computers get older, they get slower and it's harder to keep them running with the software and things like that. So we've switched over to more hardware-based switcher, and so we upgraded everything in the control room this year, and then next year we'd be upgrading the cameras in the TV studio.
So much work is being put into making the communications technology environment a better place. But how has this effort improved the lives of students and teachers alike?
Well, for over 25 years, the CommTech classes were spread among 3 different classrooms, sometimes 4, and you had to walk through an office to get to the one classroom. So what's nice about the current configuration is we can access all 3 rooms. It makes it easier for us to access our equipment, and in the case of an emergency, it makes it easier for us to take action. Another problem that was solved is my introductory class did not have a classroom. I was all over the building in different rooms, and we constantly were having to walk back to the studio area as our lab space. What's nice about this room is we can have a classroom in here as well as a lab at the same time. From a teacher point of view, it's nice to have a functional space, something that's kind of efficient. And this new area brings us a lot more efficiency in order to deliver our program. I'm really enjoying what we're doing. I'm really enjoying all the possibilities that this new space can bring us. We have some upgraded computers, which are really nice for us, and an upgraded display, so it'll make some of the lessons a little bit easier to deliver.
There are many benefits to having new equipment and ways to educate more efficiently. But how do students like the new workspaces?
It's definitely expanded a lot. I like the way that it's organized. I like the way that I got to organize the equipment room. We have to do a lot with that still. But so far, I've honestly organized where the mics have gone, the new cameras, the older cameras. Basically just putting everything where it goes, putting everything in place. I definitely think it's beneficial. I think it's given us a lot more room. I think the equipment room has a lot more space to put more equipment in. I love the amount of cabinets that I have to work with, and drawers, stuff like that. And I just feel like the new look for the CommTech room has been good.
With great change comes many challenges, but on the other side, after all the hard work, is a more enjoyable experience, inside and out of the communications technology program. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Bryce J. Jordan.
Finally, all the way over in Hawaii, students are writing to their pen pals at Farmdale Elementary. Let's see what Allison Arnier has discovered from her class.
At Farmdale Elementary School, Miss Weigel's class has pen pals that they write to every other month. I've had to find out why the students love their pen pals so much.
Many elementary students have friends in school, but not many make friends through being pen pals. Miss Weigel's class gets to experience making friends in this unique way by being pen pals with a class from Hawaii.
So it's actually a school in Honolulu, Hawaii. This is my 4th year working with this teacher. Her name is Mrs. Takaguchi, and I'm not sure how many years she's been teaching, but it's a school, it's actually on a military base.
That's cute. The process of pairing students up for pen pals is a decision that both of the teachers make to benefit each student academically.
So in the beginning of the year, the teacher and I actually kind of each send a class list, and we pair students up based on their writing levels, just so that they can kind of form a connection and practice their writing skills. So about every other month or so, we take turns sending the letters, and then the other classroom replies. Moved to Japan, but was able to write a goodbye letter. The next time Samuel will write to you.
The students in Miss Weigel's class also enjoy having their pen pals and getting to know them from their letters.
I enjoy doing the pen pals because I think it's just fun to just like message people from all the way across the world who you've never seen before. Then you can just bond with them.
At the end of the school year, the students will get the opportunity to meet their pen pals face-to-face over Google Meet and see what their pen pal actually looks like.
I think it's always fun to do the Google Meet at the end of the year, just because they're like these shy, kind of awkward kids, and they're like seeing these like mystery people they've been writing to all year. So it's kind of neat to see how, if a student describes themselves on paper, how it matches up, when they see them face to face over Google Meet.
Ultimately, the students in Miss Weigel's class at Farmdale love being pen pals and meeting new friends. For Hempfield Happenings, I'm Allison Rainier.
That's all for Hempfield Happenings. I'm Katie Krebeck, and make sure to tune in next month for the December edition.